Gibberpish podcast.
Well, our world's most offensive comedy sketch show might still just be in the writing stages, but we're here to talk Gibberpish, aren't we, Dom?
Yes, we are. Back in after a slight hiatus because fucking schedules over Christmas tend to get a bit weird and wonderful.
We did plan, and I may have even bragged about the idea of us running an episode during Christmas, just getting a recording session in. I'll edit it because I don't do much over the holidays. Throw it out there Christmas Day, somewhere around New Year's, but we're sitting down to record on the 2nd of January 2016.
Yeah.
Many happy returns, happy New Year, yada yada.
Yeah, all the festive pleasantries that they usually dish out to people.
How pleasant do I have to be? Genuine question.
My question is always, how long do you keep saying Happy New Year to people? Like, as soon as it gets to the 4th or the 5th, I stop saying it to people.
I don't think I get that far. I just don't say Happy New Year to anyone.
I usually give if it's like close friends and family, I'll go, oh, Happy New Year. But it's not something, because I know people that well into February, if they haven't seen someone, they go, oh, Happy New Year. It's not technically New Year anymore. It's well into the year.
There's nothing new about this. It's like there was a question about how far do we take the console generation as being next gen when we got the Xbox Ones and PS4s, and it got to about a year before we started referring to them as
Current gen. Yeah.
So yeah, I reckon a month's too far. I mean, to put my New Year humbuggery in perspective, I just happened to was sitting up here on New Year, and you see the clock go to 0000 on the digital clock, and then suddenly in the background, and another closer, and then suddenly a series of fireworks just bombard everything for miles. And Scotland loves alcohol and fireworks.
Yeah, so I think we just do, like, we don't call it, most people call it New Year's Eve. Over in Scotland we call it Hogmanay, and we do it bigger and better than anyone in this country.
Fuck you, Kansas.
Fuck you, Kansas. Like, New York City, you got nothing, like, the ball dropping's got nothing on the cannon that gets fired at 0000 on Hogmanay.
Yeah.
Like, we do it bigger and better, and like, the Hogmanay Street Party in Edinburgh, people come from all over the fucking globe to come to that. And it's a huge big event. There's like live music, there's a ceilidh, there's just free drink everywhere you go, free food everywhere. It's a good show if you can get tickets for it, because the tickets for this year are probably sold out now.
Yeah, but to put it in context, I heard that go off, and then I heard the phone go off downstairs. It was my brother calling to wish my parents Happy New Year from a party he was at, and he just felt like phoning, and my response to this was, "Who the fuck's phoning at midnight?" It's New Year, but I'm still like, come on, I gotta go to bed at some point. End up staying, of course, up until about 2:30 in the morning, watching Jules Holland's annual Hootenanny.
Yeah, he puts on a good show as well. There was one, like, the actual coverage of Hogmanay, I think they just call it the Hogmanay Street Party Live, this year on BBC was quite shit, because it was always, we were going to talk to some random Canadian punters, we're going to talk to some random Polish people, instead of just showing us the good music that they had and just the general atmosphere of the place. Like, no, we're going to go and talk to people, we're going to piss people off. But yeah, Jules Holland usually does put on a good show.
Yeah, it's a lot of jazz, a lot of rock.
Folk music as well.
Yeah, folk music's pretty good as well. I mean, he's a jazz pianist. Yeah. He has a jazz band, and then he'll have Tom Jones again this year.
Yeah.
Because he's in the UK doing stuff for one of his TV shows. And it's just a really, really good show to throw on if you've got it in the background. Recorded in October though, because, actually trying to get 400 people in the same room on New Year's Eve in London. I think that's where they film it.
It'll be BBC studios in London.
Yeah, but they just grab a giant soundstage, and it's like a 360 rotational kind of camera in the middle, and then we'll just cut around to different interviews with people in the crowd, because there's always some pop culture celebrities. I mean, they try and get the sports personality candidates in there every now and again.
Who won Sports Personality of the Year? Was it Murray or that?
I think it was Murray. I'll have to check.
Because last I heard it was Tyson Fury, but then he got the award taken off him because he refused someone a rematch and lost his title, and then he was being sexist.
No, he was in the running, and people who were also in the running said they would refuse to show up if Tyson Fury wasn't pulled from the list. They would flat out refuse to just show up and say, "Yeah, I like the BBC because you made me sit next to a sexist pig." So I think his comments were about women not having a place in boxing or UFC, at which point the entire world just went, fucking excuse me, we'd like to have a word. So I will check for BBC Sport Personality of the Year. What did you do for the New Year?
Well, I done my usual. My friends, my newly engaged friends, they usually have a house party around at their flat in Camelin. It was a pretty good night. Everyone just sitting there having a bevy, having inordinate amounts of party food, just having a good time, having a laugh, seeing in the bells, but there's always one little fucker that has to ruin the entire night. I'm not going to go into the full story. Colin knows the story that I'm talking about. I know they don't listen to the podcast, but I don't think they'd want this kind of broadcast live, but there's always one person that comes in and fucks over the entire thing. It made the hostess, my friend, like the missus of the engaged couple, very, very disappointed at that point. It kind of made it a bit awkward, and I thought, well, so they can work this out, we're going to have to leave. So it was a really good Hogmanay up until that point. We've seen in the bells, then from about maybe 1:30 onward, when the offending people arrived, it got kind of shitty, but all in all, a pretty good Hogmanay. Better than that fucking Halloween party that I went to at theirs not long ago, when I had to verbally and almost mentally kick the living shit out of a 20-year-old who just would not shut up about some girl that wouldn't talk to him in the other room.
Sports personality of the year, by the way, was Andy Murray, because he's Andy Murray. If you're unfamiliar with British tennis, just Google British tennis and I'm pretty sure he's the first face that pops up.
Multiple winner of Wimbledon. He's won it a few times. Or maybe
I know he's won it once,
yeah,
and that was a big deal because it's the first time in about 60-70 years a Brit has won the Wimbledon tennis tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has managed to grab himself the sports personality of the year.
Yeah, well deserved. He's always a good face for sport. He's a good homegrown talent. He's from Paisley, I think. He
went to school in Dunblane.
Went to school in Dunblane, but I think originally born in like that kind of Paisley, Glasgow area, I think.
Yeah.
His mum told him how to play tennis, so you got to imagine if some of these Scottish women watching Andy Murray play just going, fucking taught him how to do that.
She's at a lot of his games.
Right, so for a few years his mum was his coach, which I just think is pretty awesome, but the only thing I have against him is he's perhaps the most boring man on the planet. You ever watch him doing an interview, she's like, yeah, I just train really hard and I show up and I hit the ball and I go back and I have a drink of water and then I go for my next match, and like, you don't want to say like how much effort you put in. Oh, there's a lot of effort and training put in, but it's all down to your heart and how you play the game. Andy, jazz it up a bit.
Andy, now that you've won, what are you going to do with the winnings? Probably invest in a reasonable yield, maybe put it in the bank, and maybe give something to the wife, because she's been very patient with it this year. It's been a long, stressful year of tennis, and I think I should give back to her.
I might buy myself a wee holiday or a house or something, finally settle down. But Andy, you won over X amount of money. Do you not want to go on a holiday? Nah, I think I'll just buy the house.
I might visit Tenerife. Don't know. Yeah. Spend a week in Spain. I don't know. Nice guy though.
Yeah, you can't fault him, but he's just the most boring personality.
Yeah, that's why he's the personality of the year.
Yes, that's why he won.
Yeah.
And as we've seen out 2015, we have to do the mandatory best and worst of 2015.
Oh fuck, we're just going for it?
Yeah, we're just going for it, getting it out of the way, because like I said, me and Colin at this point have both seen Star Wars. I am seen it twice, going to see it again tomorrow, because friends haven't seen it.
Where are you seeing it?
Down at Hippodrome.
Might go to that again. I'm not sure. I want to see it again. I want to just...
Like I said, the first time I've seen it, I was like, right, this was good.
Before we talk Star Wars, can I beef with Hippodrome?
Yeah, like actually go, because I know what you're going to talk about and I agree with you 100%.
I'm going to argue about a few things, but I reckon you'll agree with me in every point of this. This is an old cinema. It's Scotland's oldest full-colour cinema.
Yeah.
Which I'll tell you how I found that out in a minute once I've finished beefing with the Hippodrome in general. I want to talk about my Star Wars cinema experience as well. Have it like a separate little thing. Because I've seen a couple of films there. I saw the Minions. Oh no, Despicable Me 2. I went and took my brother to see that there in the cinema. Awesome.
Yeah.
Just because
I'm not a fan.
I'm a Despicable Me fan. I can't really help it. They're minions. It's me, but with yellow skin.
Could not get into Despicable Me 1. Did not like it. But anyway.
I shall give you Blu-rays.
Your beef with the Hippodrome.
Beef with the Hippodrome. This is a cinema made in the 1900s, early 1900s, like 1950, 1920, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It shows because the cinema seats are for tiny people.
Yeah, they're for I'm a short guy myself, but there's nowhere near enough legroom for me.
Oh no, the chair space, the chair itself is good. It's a good chair you're sitting on.
Good comfy chair, yeah.
You don't mind sitting on it for 3 hours or whatever. I mean, Star Wars is what?
2.5 hours.
2.5? I didn't have any problem sitting on the actual chair itself. What I have a problem with is the fact that I couldn't move my fucking legs. Like, there's a point where about an hour in, I was like, oh, I'm about an hour into the cinema. I'm an hour into this film. My legs started cramping up just because I tried to move it after not moving for so long. Fucking raging. I cannot, like, just the entire, like, remaining 90 minutes, I'm like, if I test moving my leg, damn it!
Pain.
Yeah. So I felt really bad about that, and I imagine that's the thing that you agree on?
Yeah, because where I sat, like, we were up at the balcony, because the bottom floor was just full.
We ended up seeing it at the same time.
Yeah.
None of us, we didn't plan it, we just happened to show up, like, oh, no, let's go
see Star Wars.
what's that?
Yeah. like, the whole plan was I'm going to go down and take my dad to see this because my dad took me to see. Like, I suppose it's kind of his fault that I don't like the prequels because he took me to see all 3 prequels.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he went, "Oh, those were really good," and I'm like, "They weren't really."
Yeah.
Like even as a young kid, I was like, the clones were kind of shit. Jango Fett was kind of cool, but the whole battle with the Jedi, aren't they meant to be monks?
Yeah.
Not obviously that they can be battle trained, but the whole throughout 4, 5, and 6, the original, you kind of get the sense that the Jedi were a secret order. Now they're just fighting every battle for the Senate and the Republic. But anyway, then it got to 3 and it was just shit, except for that fight at the end with Anakin and Obi-Wan, because that sets up the rest of the films. And Obi-Wan, Ian McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi becomes more the Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And it kind of sets up that. But my main gripe with it is the balcony, where it is, it bends in, and the seats go along in a kind of straight line in front of that. So if you sit towards the kind of bowl, like the kind of curve, you've got ample legroom. But as it goes further and further in, if you're sitting dead centre, you have to sit with your legs crossed. Because there's no fucking legroom unless you're a midget.
Yeah. I'd say, honestly, the only way you're getting space to move your legs in the Hippodrome is if you don't have legs. Bomb blast victims and leg amputees having a great time at the Hippodrome. Fully legged people probably not having a great time.
I'm not even that tall, and I was still like, right, where did I put my leg? Right, I'll put it up on the balcony. Nope, that's cramping up. I've got pins and needles now. I need to move. It got to the point where a guy behind me went, "Could you stop moving?" I'm like, dude, I have no fucking leg space. I need to keep my legs circulating, or I'll get the deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, I was sitting there, and I had hurt my knee the week before, and was getting really, really annoyed at the fact that I had to keep my leg at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
We were just used to bigger cinemas with bigger room, but this is...
Especially Cineworld, because you get ample... Like, I used to moan about it, saying there wasn't enough space, but now that I've noticed it, there's ample leg room. Now that I've got it to compare it to the Hippodrome.
You can always put your legs under the chair of someone else. Maybe it's been in the balcony. I want to see if we go down to the floor level, see if that changes things.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's a really good cinema. I'm surprised by the quality of the image we get to see.
It was real. I mean, it's a 4K projector.
Yeah, it's a digital 4K projector, and it's great.
What I like about it more is I went in there with a tenner, bought a student ticket, a tub of popcorn, and a bottle of water, and got £6 change. And sorry, not £6 change. I got £5 change. Fucking love that. Fucking love that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna definitely make the effort to support them more. I've been there once or twice, but getting a decent price for a ticket now is damn near impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's what, £9.30 to go to see something in Cineworld?
And that's you getting student concessions. It's
Yeah,
more if you're just a full paying adult.
It's £12 if you're your average paying working adult, but for a student it's £9.30.
And they wonder why cinema is dying. Movies aren't dying, cinema's dying.
People are just going, I could wait a week and get it on like video on demand on iTunes.
Yeah.
For about 90 pence.
And I don't have to deal with the pricks next to me having a conversation. I had a fucking rage at just 2 fucking idiots sitting there, and I saw them as I was coming towards
Yeah, I remember you
cinema.
telling me about this over a Facebook message. Bad call. Right, Colin's going to say the story. I'm just going to preface it with bad call on the dude's part.
Yeah.
Very bad call on the dude's part.
If you are going for a first date with a woman, let me just advise, don't go sit in a 2.5 hour Star Wars movie. It's just dumb. Like, everything about the setup for this was just like, why did you do this? It doesn't make sense. This guy was out on a date, easily his first date, just based on the conversation I had to sit and listen to.
Yeah.
I got worried because on the left side there was an uncle taking his nephew to go see Star Wars. And you're like, good on uncle, well done.
Yeah.
And I was worried because when I went to see Iron Man, there was Iron Man 2. There was someone explaining the entire fucking plot to a kid sitting next to him, and I was like, if this happens again, then you knock the fuck at the uncle and throw the kid off the balcony, because we're upstairs, he's gonna fly. I'm not gonna... Somebody's getting fucked up here. I then was getting really worried about this happening, and then suddenly, next to me, a first date happens with the full... Every trailer was a kind of prompt for a question that you should know before you take someone to see Star Wars. A trailer for Fallout 4 came up, and he was like, have you played it? And she's like, no, I don't like Fallout. Skyrim was alright. But Fallout's a bit depressing. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I get it, Fallout is a depressing series, but you know that before you take someone to see Star Wars, please. Oh, that
relationship, like that guy at the end of it probably got a half sincere pat on the shoulder and a fake phone number.
Yeah, I was listening to this whole thing like, next time you take Susan from accounting out for a dinner date, just stay at dinner and then maybe go out somewhere that she likes, because like, you could tell she
go for drinks.
Yeah. Good luck, mate. I'm guessing it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't end well.
Way too ballsy to try that on the first date. Just let's go sit down and watch 2 hours of nerd fights. It's awesome.
Yeah, let's go and watch a film where I have to explain everything to you.
Yeah, I think it might be one of those cases of, oh, I could totally date a geeky guy, and then she realised halfway through just how much shit you gotta watch and how much stuff you gotta appreciate to...
At some point during that, if it's an older like Star Wars fan, he probably could explain how to build a lightsaber. So when Finn is sitting there with a lightsaber in his hand, it's like, well, lightsabers are actually powered by kyber crystals that, when imbued with the Force, they enact the blade, and it's all the electronics and stuff. It's actually a pilgrimage for each Jedi to build his own lightsaber. At that point, she's probably sitting thinking, I made a mistake. I cannot date a geeky guy. Motherfucker.
But yeah, other than sitting next to date night, really enjoyed the movie.
Really enjoyed the movie. Are we just going to do the Star Wars review now?
It's not really going to be much of a review, it's just going to be us going, that was pretty nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, lightsaber and...
I do have some gripes with the film. 3 main gripes. One of them is kind of a joke gripe. The other 2 are pretty serious.
Alright, go for your actual gripes first.
My actual gripe. Kylo Ren is a little bitch, right? If he's meant to be Darth Vader too, why is he such a whiny little bitch who is weak as hell, right?
Okay, go.
I get that he's meant to be a neophyte, he's meant to be training in the ways of the Sith. He's not as strong as he could be. He is apparently a powerful Force sensitive, because he wasn't he was training to be a Jedi, he wasn't actually a Jedi, but then he got picked up by whoever the true Sith Lord is, because I think it's pegged to be Supreme Leader Snoke, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, he was picked up by someone and taken to Snoke.
Yeah. And he's training. He is fair enough. He's strong in the ways of the Force. He can use telekinesis. He stopped a blaster bullet mid shot, which is a pretty cool shot.
Yeah,
like,
as far as like you can, everything about this film is visually great. I can't think of anything. I go, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, everything from inside the cockpits of like a TIE fighter to just wide panning shots of desert. I'm like, it's great.
It's fantastic.
Can't fault a pixel in it.
Yeah. So I get that he's meant to be a neophyte, but he gets so easily bested by Rey, who's never picked up a lightsaber before in her life.
Okay.
Right. Third gripe. Well, third gripe's technically it's 2 rolled into 1. The dialogue in the movie is nothing like 4, 5, and 6. There was this kind of air of importance, and almost like it was kind of Shakespearean, almost how the dialogue was delivered by each character. It was very poignant, where it's just like, holy shit, dude, did you see I blew up a Death Star? Holy crap, I am the man. Like, it's mainly kind of Finn's dialogue. Like, Finn's dialogue kind of is a bit stunted.
Okay, if that's your 2 points, I'm gonna go for the rebuttals.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren, as you said, neophyte, he's still getting used to this, and part of what I think, it's kind of in a way where I can compare being a Jedi to being like a Saiyan warrior in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It's not about power, it's about control. So Kylo Ren is missing the control over the Force, and that's why he has little fits and he goes into like, I'm gonna smash everything with a lightsaber mode, which I thought was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, especially when the 2 stormtroopers like are walking down the corridor and they hear him smashing out like some shit with his lightsaber, and they just turn around and walk away.
We can get into a whole other segment on stormtroopers, but there's one I want to mention in particular. But him being as mentally fragmented as he is, and it's explained why during the movie,
yeah.
It's understandable, which is a big part of making something like this work. It's also really fine as a way of explaining why he does get his ass kicked. Part of why he gets his ass kicked, by the way, he was also shot with a bowcaster.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that can do some serious damage. That's part of the joke throughout the entire thing, is that Han gets a shot of Chewie's bowcaster at some points. We know they're in the movie, I don't consider that a spoiler.
Yeah. But
Han picks up the bowcaster and was like, this is really fucking cool.
Why didn't you use this throughout the entire other 3 movies? That you could destroy legions of stormtroopers with this.
Could I get a copy of this, please?
Yeah, and the fact that like, it's not stated in this movie at all, but Chewbacca's a crack shot. Like, Chewbacca is like a proper sniper.
Oh, I didn't know he was a sniper. I just assumed that as a guy who's been fighting for the last 30, 40 smuggling run years. And to be fair, I don't know how long he was working before that, but he's been running for at least 40 years.
Yeah, I actually found out, have you seen Star Wars Episode 3?
Yes.
Right. Do you know the Wookiee, or like at the very end of the movie when Yoda like goes into his escape pod and flies off to Dagobah?
Yeah.
Apparently one of the 2 Wookiees that helps him is Chewbacca.
I assumed that was the case.
Chewbacca was on the Battle of Kashyyyk fighting alongside Yoda. I did not know that.
I assumed that there was going to be like a Wookiee in there who did look a little bit like Chewbacca, like it was either going to be him or his dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the idea is that it all happens. I mean, if he's there, it's what, like 30 years between 3 and 4?
Yeah.
and then another 20 years afterwards, so he's been on the run for 50 years, and before that he was part of the Wookiee military.
Yeah.
So fuck it, why wouldn't it be a crack
I just
shot?
found it quite cool, like looking through some of the character lore, and it's like Chewbacca marksman for the Kashyyyk military. I'm like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like why he would have a bowcaster, because most Wookiees don't have bowcasters with scopes. They just have straight up bowcasters. His is the only one that has a scope.
Alright.
It just makes so much sense. I just thought it was pretty cool to have this seemingly useless like walking rug all of a sudden to becoming like popping heads left, right and centre.
Yeah. The next point you made was that the dialogue wasn't quite it wasn't given the gravitas of the other ones due to Finn. And I think
no, it's just due to the whole cast. I think JJ was trying to make it
more relatable.
Yeah,
more
lighter
casual
in tone than the other films, which is fine. Again, it's just like a tiny little gripe that I have with the film. But again, they could have just give it a bit more gravitas. But to kind of to commune with the older audience and the newer audience, they need to kind of bring the dialogue down to a more understandable level.
But see, the thing is for me is that Flynn and Rey, who's the female in the movie, are younger characters.
Yeah, definitely.
These are kids running around in an intergalactic war going, how are we so involved in all this? Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Like, I found a droid and now I'm in a battleship. What the fuck is going on? Who the hell is that lady with what looks like hair buns?
Yeah, because considering like what's going on, it's all taking place in the course of a week.
Yeah.
Like it's
not even that, it's been a couple of days.
It's a couple of days. The worst couple of days in Rey and Finn's life.
Like, Rey wakes up, she finds a little blue and white, red and white droid running about the planet, and she goes, "Oh, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to find it." Then it's all of a sudden there's some Sith, or there's some like stormtrooper helping her. And 3 days later, she's meeting Han Solo, who's apparently not even existing.
Yeah. And a lot of it's to do with the fact that the old stories of 4, 5 and 6 have faded into legacy.
Yeah, I did like that. That people are... Obviously Finn would know it because it's part of his kind of knowledge, his training through like the kind of stormtrooper initiations. Yeah. That he knows all this, he knows who the enemy is. But it's just Rey going, the Jedi are real. You're General Solo. Holy shit, I didn't even know the rebellion happened.
He's like, hey, I'm Han, alright?
Han Solo.
General Solo has been gone for a while. This is Han. Yeah, and I think that plays into the movie's kind of favour. Yeah. I do enjoy the fact that.
Did you pick up on the one line at the start with the Max von Sydow's character?
I really liked his performance.
Even the fact he was only in about maybe a minute and a half of the film, it's still fantastic. It's when Poe says General Organa will greatly appreciate this, and he goes, "Nah, she's still royalty to me," and I thought that's fucking genius. Yeah, that's such a great line.
I do like that. Just kind of the old guard's still around. Yeah.
Like, but, I don't know if he's a Jedi. It's said that he's
just a local leader.
I've actually read into it. He's leader of a church who worships, they worship the followings of the Force. They don't worship Jedis, but they follow the teachings of the Force.
Right.
They are tuned with the Force, but they can't use it. So they're basically just acolytes.
The one thing.
And he's the one remaining like Jedi acolyte.
Interesting. I just liked having him appearing. I know him from something, and I did go and find out. I'm like, he's been in like a couple things that I remember. He's an old, friendly British actor. Yeah. Have you noticed that half of the galaxy far, far away is now Scottish?
Yeah, very, very Scottish.
A lot of Scottish people in there. I approve.
I approve of it like quite a lot, especially the.
We're mythical motherfuckers. We fit into any universe.
Like one of the fighters who's like the kind of bigger, heavier set guy, and one of the X-wings. It's just going to go get him, Poe, give him hell, and I'm just like, we have a Scotsman in there.
There was like 3 or 4 people just hanging around and just being Scottish in the background.
Did you catch the overly Scottish bounty hunter?
Aye, I did see there's just like 3 or 4 characters hanging out, and if there's more than like 10 people, one of them is Scottish for no fucking reason. I
just like the way the guy spoke. It's like, Han Solo, you owe us a lot of money. I'm just like, they've ramped the Scottish way the fuck up.
That guy was just overacting the Scottish. He was just preparing for Braveheart too.
Yeah. Tell the First Order.
We'll give them a fucking heat butt the new.
The droid they're looking for is on the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo. Just like, took that Scottish like meter and just ramped it up.
They're parked just outside Tesco's on Falkirk. Like, are you kidding me?
Imagine if someone talked back. It's like, right, do you know where Tesco's is in Falkirk? Right, you'll see the Millennium Falcon there.
Outside KFC.
He's went to get some scran, he'll be out in a minute. Like, I want to see like Kevin Bridges or something pop up. Just being a Jedi, it's like, no mate, I'm a Jedi.
That is going to happen at some point. Kevin Bridges is going to come out and just parody the shit out of that guy.
I want Kevin Bridges to be in Star Wars in some capacity. I think that'd be fucking amazing.
Did you notice as well? I'm pretty sure one of the deck officers on the Star Destroyer is a guy from Game of Thrones.
I did.
It's not Bran. It's the guy who's with Bran.
Yeah, it's one of the what they call them wards.
Yeah, he's one of the wargs.
Yeah.
I kept seeing people like, it's from that guy.
That's from Game of Thrones. Oh, and did you pick up on Daniel Craig?
Shit, that was my point. That was gonna be I was gonna say that was my favourite Stormtrooper. I was gonna say, what's your favourite celebrity cameo? Mine is Daniel Craig being the force-controlled Stormtrooper.
Because Simon Pegg was in it as well, but no one knew he was in it.
Yeah, he was just a modified voice for one of the guys.
Yeah, and he was also the body double for. Like, do you remember when Rey first goes to the kind of food vendor?
Yeah.
After she's like raked through the down Star Destroyer,
yeah.
And there's a little bird creature walking behind her, and he's got like the massive stack of like what looks like a table on his back, just full of scrap.
Yeah.
That was Simon Pegg.
Oh. Because I knew he was the voice of the food vendor.
Yeah. Like a kind of modified voice. Yeah, but no, Daniel Craig's performance was pretty funny. She's like, I will remove your restraints and drop your weapon, and I'll drop my weapon. I thought that was pretty fun.
That was really well timed. It's a really great scene as part of somebody's understanding of the Force. And some people have complained about it. I'm saying, perfectly fine. Someone taking a couple cracks at like a Force manipulation thing, totally fine with it.
Now, the way I kind of seen it is when that scene is preceded with Kylo Ren trying to read her mind.
Yeah.
But you see her closing her eyes, and I think she's doing it back. She's realising, wait, what he's doing to me, I can feel the same way.
Yeah.
Let me test something. And
he's opened a connection. I can force the connection back through to him. It's
a two-way loop. I always read it as a two-way loop. She's getting her mind read by Kylo Ren, but she's also reading Kylo Ren's mind.
Yeah.
She's like, wait, who's Anakin Skywalker, and why is he your grandfather? Like, anyway, I'm a Force user as well. Let's test this, and I kind of seen as it fit. The one thing that I didn't like getting shoved down our throats about Rey's character was the whole on Jakku when Finn's like, oh right, we need to get out of here, and he grabs her hand. And she's like, let go of my hand. It's like, right, we get it. You're an independent female character. You do not need male help. Do not shove it down our throats.
It was fine. I think it maybe needed one less incident of him going like, oh, I get it. Because it felt like the entire movie was waiting to turn around and go, but you're a woman, you can't use the Force. And then her turn around and go, no, I can. And just her like deliberately being confrontational about it. It was good.
They did kind of keep it under wraps, but it was just the whole, and especially in the opening scenes in Jakku when Finn's like, right, we need to get to safety. Like, take my hand. She's like, I can run without you holding my hand. Let go of me. Right, you're an independent.
It was fine like the first two times, and at point 3, it's no longer Finn's fault for doing that. It's the movie's fault for making him do that. Like if he just learns to listen, okay, we're just going to sprint.
Right, okay, we're going to run now.
Yeah, and it would have been like there could have been a couple of transitional shots of him, like if they're both on the ground, him hitting up first and then him like picking her up and throwing her forward to help get things moving. That'd be fine, a little transitional thing. But just constantly going, she's a strong, independent woman over and over again. Like we got it by the third time it happened, like the second or third time it happened, perfectly fine.
It was absolutely fine.
When he got knocked the fuck out with the fucking like fighting stick that she's got throughout the first part of the movie, I got it. She was a capable badass.
We got it. She didn't fuck around.
Speaking of capable badasses, Stormtroopers.
Yeah, Stormtroopers kind of steal the show almost.
Yeah. I was watching this thing, and I reckon this might have been a scripting decision with J.J. Abrams sitting in a room going, okay, I want people to take this kind of seriously. We're going to be lighthearted, but we are not going to be lighthearted about Stormtroopers. This is the elite of the elite. They're going to not fuck around this time and not hit people. Yeah,
not a single Stormtrooper misses in this movie. Whereas in the other ones, they were like shooting left, right and centre and missing their target completely. These Stormtroopers can fucking shoot.
Well, the entire thing about it wasn't so much like, I did notice the hits where like they kept racking up hits and stuff. There's a couple like stray shots or something like that. But it's like when they're opening fully automatic on like crowds of people, there's like a shot goes overhead and it just flies away. It's fine. But at the same time, it's more to do with general Stormtrooper actions are much more brutal in this movie. It's good and I like it. It gives you a sense of threat.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call it right now. These set of films are the Game of Thrones version of Star Wars.
Yeah, I'd quite agree with that.
No one is safe. We don't know the story yet. We don't know how this is going to turn out. It's probably going to end up not being the First Order taking over since they're basically the Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, they're not fucking around with that image anymore.
Yeah.
It's long red banners with a black and white symbol on it. They're the fucking Nazis now.
Yeah, and General Hux looks like some kind of German officer, just the kind of black boots and the overcoat and stuff. He just looks like
Yeah, he's an SS officer leading the last battalion against the fucking resistance.
yeah.
I mean, it's at the point where it's just referred to as the resistance now.
Yeah.
It's not the Republic, it's the resistance. Like, holy shit, we're just hammering that hammering the Nazi metaphor just as hard as we can go. It's good though.
Yeah, there's apart from those little stupid gripes, like those little mini gripes that kind of take me out of the film a bit. It's still one of probably the best film of the year.
What was your joke gripe?
The joke gripe, right? You remember when they go to, I can't remember the name of the planet, but Han says, right, I need to get you people a clean ship. So they go to that planet and
the smuggler one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Maz Kanata. Her name is the little
Maz
frog
Kanata,
wife
yeah.
with the little goggles. How the fuck does she get Luke's or Anakin's lightsaber from Luke from Cloud City when most of Cloud City is suspended midair and it fell straight down? Like, how the hell did she get Luke's lightsaber? It just falls straight down, like, unless she
It falls down into a shaft of something. No one knows where that went.
Yeah, she could have just been like, oh, lightsaber. But
Well, that's the thing, is she is the centre of a trade and smuggling community. Like,
Yeah.
That's how she knows Han. That's how she knows everyone in the resistance.
then again, it's already she already says she knows the Force.
Yeah.
She knows what the Force is. She's probably like, oh shit, a lightsaber, I'm taking that. The other explanation is
I think that's more to do with like a spiritual thing. It's not so much I understand the Force, I therefore understand the implications of a lightsaber. It's more to do with I know what life is. She's like supposed to be thousands of years old.
Yeah, I think in The Force Awakens she's meant to be just over 1,000 years old.
So yeah, she's just a wise old woman. She would take this thing, or she would take it off of someone if they came into her bar with it.
Yeah.
So I think that's more to do with how she actually got her hands on something like that.
Yeah. Apparently Rogue One will answer that question. Like the spin-off movie that's happening next, that's meant to kind of be set a bit before The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that. The other explanation...
Well, wait a minute, isn't Rogue One to do with the squad that got the Death Star plans at the start of 4?
I heard it was all to do with Poe Dameron, his kind of rise to being the most daring pilot in all of...
I really hope so, because I
Resistance.
quite liked Poe.
He was a good character, he was just not in enough.
I think it wasn't too bad. Like it was. I like the fact that he disappears for part of the movie and then shows up later on, which is fine because it's just a case of him saying, "Okay, I wasn't technically available for these parts of the movie.
Yeah.
You don't have to see me story-wise, so it's a good thing when you see me later on." And then having what's his name, Finn turn around and say, "Wow, that's a great pilot you got there," and it turns out to be Poe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty cool. He was a good character, I just would have preferred more of him. Because to me, Finn could have been taken completely out of the entire movie and it would have still been a good movie.
I do like the fact that it did feel like Finn was trying to be a classic action hero, but just getting shit on the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's one thing I've noticed that it's happening more and more. I just watched Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And I just watched Mad Max. Those are two movies where the male is being a classical male hero, but not getting the classical male hero payoff where he gets the girl at the end of it.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same thing. But yeah, it's a lot of really good movie, and my favourite scene has to be in the wreckage of the like the kind of on the smuggling planet where they're looking for the fresh ship.
Yeah.
That scene with the battle with the stormtroopers, again another scene where stormtroopers are not fucking around.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you feel about Power Baton guy?
I thought he was fucking awesome.
I loved it.
It's the bit when he just shouts "traitor." Finn turns around and he like the whole scene is fucking golden. Like he spins around, he does the cool like Tonfa ignite, then he spins it around and shows that he's ready for battle.
Yeah.
Then Finn just kind of goes, "I have this lightsaber. Fuck it, I'm going to use it. I'm going to defend these people."
Yeah.
That's what kind of made me think Finn is a Jedi, but he's not. Finn is a complete red herring. The fact that he has the lightsaber in the promotional shots was just to throw people off the main scent.
Yeah.
Which is Rey is actually a Jedi. Spoilers.
You already mentioned something about someone's lineage, like whose parents were who, and I'm like, yeah, you just kind of threw something out there already at the spot. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, having the shock patrol guy show up, that guy is awesome.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
It does show as well that they're going to go and push the boundaries with stormtroopers again, more than what they've already done. I mean, like stuff like Captain Phasma.
Completely useless at the entire movie.
1 minute 38 screen time apparently.
Really?
1 minute 38
Holy
seconds. Somebody went and clocked it because like, she's supposed to be, she's a little bit of a kind of Easter egg for fans.
Yeah.
Just kind of, there's going to be a chrome-plated stormtrooper who is a captain in the military for the First Order. You're going to like her character, and then suddenly she's only there for a little bits and pieces.
Yeah. Although I think in the second one she's going to become either a mercenary or she's just going to be straight out to hunt Finn, because Finn and all her people embarrassed the shit out of Captain Phasma.
Yeah, they threw in a trash compactor.
Yeah, I think she's just going to be back and pissed off. She's like, right, I'm going to hunt down these motherfuckers. I'm going to go Boba Fett on these bitches.
Which I'll say her the trash compactor. Like, what do we do with her? Oh, we can throw her in the garbage. There's a trash compactor. Or,
Yeah, I thought
that was a little almost too much winking to camera, but I'm okay with it.
I could liked it. Just how happy Harrison Ford looked. It's like, you got a trash compactor? I'm like, yeah, that's a lot.
As he weed in there.
As he weed in there. Harrison Ford, you old looking bastard.
Yeah, good movie. I don't think we want to spoil anything else.
No.
Saying Kylo Ren and Anakin Skywalker related, not that big of a spoiler.
No.
But apparently, also relating to Anakin Skywalker, DiCaprio might have been in line to play, or he's been talking about him not going for Anakin Skywalker, like he was in the running but didn't go for it, and we had Hayden Christensen step in and do that role during 2 and 3.
Yeah, DiCaprio was also meant to be Spider-Man, but he thought at that point in his career he would not have been able to do it, which is it's a fairly grown-up choice. It's a fairly evolved choice to make. You just think, no, this is bigger than me. I don't want to mess this up.
And I'm really glad that he didn't go for Anakin Skywalker, because if you think about it, he is a good actor.
Yeah.
But even at that point in his career, what would he have done? He'd have done Titanic.
Titanic in that film, The Beach.
Yeah,
maybe.
But we'd have lost him.
Yeah.
I think we'd have just lost DiCaprio off the side of the planet.
Yeah, in the same way we've almost lost Ian McGregor. He kind of crops up every now and again, does kind of little parts, but
I think he just doesn't want to be involved anymore.
Yeah, although he's in Force Awakens as a kind of voiceover, but he's still acting, but not in any massive capacity.
Oh yeah, he appears for like one line of audio.
Yeah,
that was it.
But it wasn't. It was like his voice mashed up with something to sound like Sir Alec Guinness.
I did hear that there was what did they say? They said something. They used Alec McGuinness's original voice, but they just took out like the what do you call it? When you do the tapping thing to do the word, it's like fragments of a word.
Syllables?
Syllables, yeah. They took a syllable out of a word he said in the original movie, and then just took that and just messed around with it on audio profiles and stuff, and made it sound like something else.
Yeah. Just
to kind of merge the two together. You're like, that's a lot of work for an interesting but throwaway line ultimately.
That throwaway line you're talking about stuck at more than any point in the film, just because it made me think. People are thinking that Rey is the daughter of a certain Jedi. I think she's not the daughter of that Jedi. I think she's the daughter of a previous Jedi. The
theories on the whole thing.
Like, the theories just go fucking mental, and I wouldn't like to comment on it in case I'm wrong or in case of just acting or sounding very, very stupid. But yeah, like, I'm not going to say this is what's definitely going to happen, because I'm liking what JJ is doing with the film right now. He's doing it well. He's taking it back to the practical effects, a lot less CGI. There's still some CGI in there to make it.
I'd say it's necessary. It's smoothing the edges, which is what you want to use CGI to do.
Whereas
you can
in the
see
prequel,
so much of it is practical.
Whereas in the prequels, it was just, this is all CGI in your face, but in this one, it's all nice practical effects. Even when you see the little Jawa dude riding the kind of beast thing, you can tell the beast is practical effects.
Yeah.
And even BB-8, who by the way, is probably favourite character of the entire film. He just makes sense.
He's okay. I like him.
It's just because my favourite character in the other films was R2-D2. Don't know why. I just thought R2-D2 was pretty cool.
Well, he's short too, so
yeah. It was we're about the same height around about the time I seen the first film. But then BB-8 comes along and he's pretty awesome. A lot of people are saying that he isn't a he, he's a she. But then I'm thinking it's a fucking robot. It doesn't matter. But then people are saying that he is gender fluid. He can be whatever you want. He's just a cool little robot.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty funny. He had some funny scenes when he gives Finn the thumbs up with the lighter, and he's like basically Spider-Man swinging.
Out of context, it can actually look like a middle finger.
It does look like a middle finger, yeah. But I took it as a thumbs up. And there's funny scenes when BB-8 is kind of getting flung about in the Millennium Falcon, and he's using his grappling hooks to steady himself. That
was pretty cool. I did enjoy that. There's scenes with BB-8 where you realise the practicality of having a robot shaped like a football.
Yeah.
Maybe not be the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
But they play it off. I mean, the whole scene with not the Millennium Falcon, but Han's like kind of shipping unit that he has.
Yeah.
They were talking about where they unleashed 3 horrible nightmare monsters.
Yeah.
That was fucking dead. That's the worst nightmare of any D&D player.
Yeah, just 3 massive cool lights just appearing out of nowhere to rip you a new one.
Like, yeah, you have these 3 horrible monsters. By the way, you have no chance in hell of getting out of the way. Deal with it. You know.
Stand and fight and hope you roll well.
I'm curious as to what happened with the one that was attached to the Millennium Falcon when it breaks out, because it bursts into hyperdrive from the ship.
It probably just disintegrates because it's unprotected hyperdrive.
Yeah. I thought that may be what happened, but I was kind of hoping that like some of it would come back and just land in the ship and just scare the shit out of people.
Or it lands on the planet that they're going to, and it's just like, I'm on this planet now, motherfucker. Deal with me.
Yeah, just have it run around the woodlands going, just eating people.
Kylo Ren's facing down with Rey, and all of a sudden this big like giant tentacle monster just rips him apart.
Would have been an interesting twist.
Yeah, it's just this big bad. He's dead.
He's the next 6 movies worth of. Oh damn, he's in pieces on the floor.
There's his helmet. His helmet was pretty cool. Anyway,
the distortion was a little odd though. I do
on the lightsaber, or
oh no, the distortion on the lightsaber was cool because it makes it look more of a savage weapon.
yeah,
There's a point where he's kind of it's angled towards the camera, and I looked at it and I can, as an obsessive fan of Warhammer 40k, I'm like, that is more terrifying than a chainsword.
yeah.
It looks like it has teeth and it's made out of light. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's all to do with the fact that when he made this red lightsaber, he rushed it, and the kyber crystal inside it cracked, and that's why you have the little vents on the side. It's not intentional. It's just so the energy doesn't get overloaded. It's just venting it at the sides.
That's what I thought it was as well.
But it also makes it kind of the most practical weapon ever, because if he's doing a lightsaber duel and like pushes the lightsaber towards his enemy, he's got that little blade sticking at the side so he can stab them.
He does that to like 3 people.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Like, damn it, you had him in a cross guard, you could have fought your way out of it, but no, he's stabbing you with an extra knife he brought to this thing. Like, yeah, it was good, but I was talking about his voice distortion.
Yeah.
It's a bit off-putting. It's good. It's okay as a terrifying
Again, it's
piece.
just they're trying to make him more Darth Vader-like.
Yeah, I kind of want to see for the next movie, the movie ends with him being assigned for further training with Supreme Leader Snoke.
In fact, that's what they do. The General Hux gets called into that kind of hollow chamber and says, right, return to me and bring Kylo Ren with you. It's time to finish his training. That's how they wrap him up.
I wonder who Snoke is going to be revealed as. Like, how do you get to the point of being the supreme leader of the dark side?
And there's a lot of theories coming out that he is the original. He is Darth Sidious's master reincarnated, because Darth Plagueis the Wise, who was the Sith that trained Senator Palpatine, to become Darth Sidious, he found a way to cheat death and also reincarnate himself.
Yeah.
But Senator Palpatine killed him in his sleep. So a lot of fans are thinking this is Darth Plagueis come back in another body, or this is Darth Plagueis come back because Palpatine didn't finish the job, or this is just a new Sith. And quite frankly, I want it to be a new Sith.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be anyone that we've known about in previous movies. I want it to be one guy who was just secretly getting stronger and just like getting angrier and angrier and angrier and hating the Jedi more, to the point that he is stupidly powerful in the ways of the Force.
Yeah, he's a well-studied, well-trained monk in a sense. He's been working away in solitude and just mastering the dark side of the Force. I want to see that. I want to see where he comes from, and I hope they explore it in the next couple of movies.
In the next movie, I think we're going to get a big bombshell from Supreme Leader Snoke. We're actually going to see him not in a hologram sense. We're actually going to see him.
Yeah.
Probably still CGI'd by Serkis, but still we'll get to see him.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the fuck's Andy Serkis going to do if he can't be a 10-foot tall glowing Death Lord?
Yeah. I think in his contract he must have it written, I need to be CGI at least at one point.
Well, he runs his own CGI studio now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he wants... I mean, to be fair, if you turn and say, yeah, we got Andy Serkis to do CGI, yeah, yes, please.
Yeah.
He's going to do mocap for this thing himself? Yes, please.
Because he's in I keep forgetting he's in Age of Ultron as well. He plays Ulysses Claw, who becomes a villain for Black Panther.
Alright.
He gets his arm cut off by Ultron, and then he gets replaced with a vibranium sonic cannon.
I was going to say he's there in person. I was trying to figure out, like, there was no massively CGI character.
No, but he'll be CG'd in the next one, probably. They'll probably CG the arm in. So.
Well, I mean, they don't have to bother that for the Winter Soldier. You just give him a weird kind of skin glove and then or green screen it on afterwards. Yeah, but this new Star Wars film is actually giving me hope. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I do enjoy the fact that it's really made me interested in it. The one thing I will say is the entire movie is called The Force Awakens. I kind of want the next couple of movies to have less to do with the Skywalker family than I want it to be more about the Force.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be kind of like a second awakening of the Jedi, not just, oh, we need to get Luke Skywalker because he's going to bring balance to the Force. No, how about we just have a new generation of Jedi rise up and think, alright, there's a war going on between the Sith and the rest of these people. How about we join the rest of these people to give them hope?
Just one thing that's always really bugged me is that the Star Wars thing is all about the light and the dark.
Yeah.
But it really just seems like one family squabble gotten out of hand. Like, the family was having an argument, but then the family also has battalions of soldiers that are willing to die for each other.
They could widen it out, but again, Luke Skywalker becomes the new Yoda of the Jedi, because he's the only remaining Jedi Master.
Yeah.
So everything kind of builds on top of him. But he kind of stays there as a focal point for the main in the extended universe. Luke Skywalker is still the kind of statue character. Like in every new Jedi temple, there's a statue of Luke. Like kind of this is the man who revitalized the Jedi, that kind of thing. But there's so many more interesting Jedi out there. Like Jason Solo, who I think is based on Kylo Ren is based on him. He kind of flip flops between Jedi and Sith. He becomes Darth Caedus, like fucks up nearly everything, and then kind of does the last minute conversion to the light side, and he becomes basically Luke Skywalker 2.0.
Right.
There's so many other like more interesting Jedi. I do agree with you. We should kind of leave the Skywalkers alone. Maybe not focus on them as much. Have them in the background.
Yeah.
Have Luke kind of take on the Yoda role as like, right, Rey, you need to train with me. Why? Because I'm the only remaining Jedi, and as a sign of kind of good faith, you have my father's lightsaber. It must have called out to you. You must have got it through some whatever.
Yeah, the theories around Rey are just nuts.
Yeah.
But I do want to see them take a step back and say, oh, by the way, there's everyone else outside whose second name isn't fucking Skywalker.
Like, I genuinely don't want her to be a Skywalker. I want her to be something completely different. Like a family scene. This child was force sensitive and decided, right, they're killing Jedi, so how about we hide her? Let's leave her on like Jakku, because no one's going to look on Jakku for a Jedi. Because
that's half the jokes of the film is, what the fuck was it on Jakku? Nothing's on Jakku.
Yeah, Jakku's a shithole.
Why do you want to keep going back to Jakku? It's fucking empty and dead.
You seen the guy who runs it? He's a giant pig man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want her last name to be like, oh, my name's not Skywalker, my last name's Smith.
Yeah.
Ray Smith, that's me. My parents were Annie and Stephen Smith, the bankers on Coruscant.
Yeah. And then Jar Jar Binks goes, Annie! And then everybody goes, no, get back in the fucking corner.
Actually, talking about Star Wars, you know that Jar Jar Binks was meant to be the anti-Yoda. In the original arc for Star Wars, George Lucas, this is genuine, you can Google it, look it up, Jar Jar Binks was meant to be the original Dark Lord of the Sith.
Holy fuck.
But people had such a bad reaction to Jar Jar Binks from episode 1 that they went, fuck this, right, he's just going to be comic relief. We're going to leave Palpatine, we're going to leave the mystery of Palpatine's master kind of to the side. Because everything, like, Lucas's work has always been about the most unexpected person as the Grand Master. Yoda was this kind of weird looking frog dude, he is the Grand Master of the Jedi. They were going to do that in episodes 1, 2 and 3, but kind of the reverse.
Right.
So Jar Jar Binks was meant to be this bumbling retard of a frogman who can, like, he can swim underwater, he can kind of do some kind of useful things, but no one really notices. But then behind closed doors, behind the curtain, he is a powerful Sith Lord who's training Palpatine.
Much. Like his swing would be too bad from just kind of means I'm so sorry, use a W at all, and then just he turns around the corner and goes, deploy the stormtroopers. Like no one would believe it. Yeah. It'd be just horrible.
I think that's why he cut it out, just because I think, right, it's too far. Right, I've made him too much of an idiot, and people don't like him. I'm just going to leave him there as comic relief. But it still does.
People dislike that character so much. Why did you leave him in his comic relief? Is my first question.
I have no idea. George Lucas made some bum decisions about the prequels.
And yet people interview him about this movie and want to know what he thinks. Frankly, I think he can fuck off in a corner.
Yeah, he was getting quite annoyed. One direct quote from him was that he felt like he'd sold the movie to slavers.
Yeah, and he hasn't apologised for that comment apparently, because I did see last night saying, oh, by the way, he isn't actually saying that Disney writers are slavers. Yeah. But at the same time, like, the interview that people are misreading way too much into, like, the clip everyone keeps quoting, it's like, oh, he fucking hates it. He doesn't actually address it, he just says that he wanted to do something different with it.
He's saying it's not his vision of Star Wars Episode 7, but it's a vision. It's not the one he would have done, but it's still something that he acknowledges as Star Wars.
And you know what? Everything he wants to do with it is everything we don't want to see in it anymore. Exactly. Like, he wants to do it as a family soap opera. I'm like, I am fucking tired of the Skywalker family. Yeah. They are fucking up entire planets.
See, that's why I thought it was so cool to have a stormtrooper like attuned with the Force. That's why I was so excited about having Finn as a Jedi.
Yeah.
Because it shows that he's been conditioned to fight for the Empire, but what if he's actually a Jedi? What if this new wave of Jedi is just kind of sweeping through the Force is just reaching at the far reaches of the galaxy, and he's just like, wait, I felt that. I don't want to kill anybody.
I'd love it to have this realization that the next generation of heroes come from the common people, because that's what we'd love to see in a story right now. Just everyone can be a hero. If you step up and accept your place in the galaxy, you get to be the hero of Star Wars. And rather than just have
kind of like what they done with Avatar: Legend of Korra when they done the new genesis of the Air Nation. There was like people just sweeping up their like shops, and all of a sudden he'd like move his hand, and all of a sudden a giant gust of air would come, and he'd be like, holy shit, I'm an airbender.
Oh yeah.
That's like random just like shopkeepers were just like not force pushing, like using airbending to close their doors and like shut their blinds and stuff just like honest punters just using like special
an
martial
ancient
arts.
mystical art to do random stuff, and you went, oh well, this is cool.
That'd be a cool section to see in episode 8. Just one guy, like just Joe Public, who's closed his bar and all of a sudden he just goes, holy shit, I'm a Jedi.
Man, I really wish I could reach for that thing over there. Oh crap, I moved it with my thoughts. Oh no.
Betty, I'm a fucking Jedi. So how can you tell? I just unhooked your brow with one hand. I'm not even touching you.
She's like, oh, he did. Oh shit.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, she did it. Still can't take the garbage out. It's like, oh no.
Wait, watch me.
Yeah, it's weird that we want to recommend this movie but don't need to because it hit 1 billion so fucking fast.
Again, you know if you want to go see Star Wars or not. No one's going to make a decision for you. I could recommend it because, like I said, I've seen it 2 times already. I'm going to go see it a third tomorrow. I enjoy the film a lot. It's my favourite film of 2015. Again, there's a couple of things that I'd change, but I'm not directing the movie. J.J. Abrams has done a fantastic fucking job with it. It's closer to the Star Wars episodes 4, 5 and 6 than the prequels ever got to.
It's weird because there's a Star Wars channel downstairs right now on like Sky Broadcasting. They just have a channel that's looping the movies every day, and you watch the originals and you watch 1, 2 and 3, and you sit there looking at it going, this is really bad visually and character wise. Yeah. The story's horrible. Usually, fuck these movies. You know.
The only thing that the episodes 1, 2 and 3 had going for it was the lightsaber duels were a lot faster paced, and it showed the difference between the remnants of the Jedi and a Jedi in its full-fledged power. Like the height of the Jedi's and the kind of, I think they call it before the Battle of Yavin, BBY. That's how they date everything. Right. So like the pre-BBY Jedi, how they were doing like the kendo like stances and stuff, and how they were just like backflipping over people, and they were doing all these different Jedi stances and just mopping the floor with their enemies. Then you kind of contrast that to 4, 5 and 6 where we get the slower battles, but I think they're kind of better because it showed like Darth Vader, you kind of think after him being Anakin Skywalker he'd just been batting people left, right and centre, but he kind of slows it down a bit to show that
because he himself is crippled.
Yeah, he himself is crippled, and he doesn't need to use a lightsaber anymore. He can just walk up to people and force choke them, or he can force lightning them, or whatever.
Because he's not fighting a Jedi anymore with training or anything like that. He's just fighting a guy with a gun who he can just dismiss with a flick of a wrist.
Or he can crush the gun in his hand, and his hand along with it.
The one thing I was just really thinking about it is when it comes to the lightsabers in this lightsaber duels in this movie, they're trying to fucking kill each other. Yeah. There's no screwing around anymore.
Yeah, Rey, like, given how Rey holds a lightsaber with the blade pointing towards the enemy constantly, and how she jabs towards Kylo Ren, she's going for the kill shot. She despises this person so much, and I think that might lead back into where her parents come from, or where she comes from, like why she hates the Sith so much. Yeah. I don't know, but again, it's speculation.
There's so much speculation about it, but yeah, the lightsaber duels are obviously increased. It's much better as well because part of the problem with the 4, 5, 6 is the practicality of filming and then CGIing a lightsaber because it had to be all hand drawn. You couldn't go back and just computer graphics it. But then 1, 2, 3 go too far in computer graphics and you lose any kind of soul of the movie.
Like with Yoda fighting Count Dooku and Darth Sidious in episodes 2 and 3 respectively, Yoda should not be backflipping about and doing these cool like lightsaber spins. I get that he's a small character, and to fight toe to toe with people that are so much bigger than him, he needs to employ these acrobatics and these cool lightsaber tricks, but it still detracts from the character of Yoda as a whole.
Yeah, he's a Grand Master of a knightly order.
Yeah, like him doing like backflips and like weird like, backhanded Jedi like sword styles, it just didn't make any sense at all.
Well, you could have made it work, but I mean, it'd be much more interesting to see someone come out with like a lightsaber that's like a fencing foil, and then just have him just do like fencing maneuvers while somebody's trying to be like maybe an old style kind of knight of the Crusades. Yeah. So someone's trying to just bludgeon you with the sword while you're just sitting there fending them off with a rapier. I'd be more interested in that as opposed to just two people just backflipping around the place, making it hard to watch the fight itself.
And that was just quite difficult on Christopher Lee as well, because he had to basically duel a tennis ball. Like he was doing all these lightsaber movements himself, and they were CGIing in Yoda afterward.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to go into like a 2015 year in review, Death of the Year, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just lost Lemmy.
That's not really sunk in with me yet.
Yeah,
it's not. I'll listen to Motorhead or something on the way home and be like, shit, Lemmy's dead. Motorhead, fuck. It'll just kind of hit me on the way home.
Yeah, but looking at year in review, biggest kind of shit moment.
Christopher Lee, definitely.
Yep. So biggest shit moment, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
First of the awards that we're going to give out for 2015.
Yeah. Because looking back on some of Christopher Lee's work, he will definitely be missed.
I just want one more thing. Don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just want one more thing.
I would have preferred if it wasn't another Hobbit film. Or another Tolkien film. Because I was done with those movies after the second Hobbit film. Yeah, moving on, as Colin alluded to there, we're doing the best and worst of 2015. For me, the best game of 2015 had to be The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes for Nintendo 3DS, because it's just a fun game. Like a really, really fun game. Good to get like 2 of your mates online, just storming through temples, dungeons, getting cool Zelda items, dressing up in weird costumes as well, because my character is in a Master Sword costume, which gives him like twice the health of a normal character and sword beams.
Right.
And you get the great spin attack, so you can just hurricane spin around the entire map and kill everything in the vicinity.
So you're choosing fun over...
Yeah, I'm choosing fun over like outstanding gameplay. It is outstanding gameplay, but it is quite short. This is only really its shortcoming is that the game itself is too short.
For a game for me, I want to pick Destiny the Taken King.
It's best.
Yeah, it's the game I played the most this year. Again, it's fun.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's a really fun game.
It does put in some challenge every now and again, because I play solo rather than play with teams. So if I was playing with teams, I'd be fucking people up right, left and centre.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just enjoying Destiny more than any other game I'm playing this year. What's your worst?
My worst has to be Godzilla for the PS4, because I bought that. My brother bought that game, and he says, "Oh, you really like it? It's like a fighting game. You play as Godzilla and you just beat the living crap out of other kaiju." And I thought, "Oh, this will be pretty good if they do it right. It'll be really, really good." Then I played it. Each mission is exactly the same. You destroy 3 generators, absorb the radiation, then you fight a kaiju, and the kaiju can be beaten so easily by the simple combo of grab, radioactive breath, grab, throw. They die almost instantaneously after that. It's such a bad game, and it was really expensive. I mean, today you can still only pick it up for about £50.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to buy that game. It's really, really bad. I fucking regret buying it.
My worst, and this might be due to a little bit of butthurt on my part, might actually just be Gears of War Remastered. The Ultimate
You
Edition.
did have some problems with that. You sent me a Facebook message saying that it was buggy as hell.
Yeah, a very buggy game. I don't know how you screw up the classics, but they somehow managed to make a pretty bad game out of a classic. And I'm worried that I'm giving this award rashly because I played it last night for the first time, did Act 1 and just put the fucking game down. So nope, don't know how long I'm going to be able to play this. I'll maybe go online and see if they've tweaked it online, but something about the control scheme lacks a bit of the push. I'm annoyed they didn't remaster it with what they learned through the other 2 games. This is just a straight port, and I now want to go back and play the 360 version just to compare. But as far as a game of the year, like worst year, putting that one down now, because it's the game I played that had the least fun in it. Mostly because a Berserker ran into a wall and didn't stop.
Yeah, I've heard quite a lot of bad things about the HD ports to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. That is, the game itself should be outstanding, but because they've tried to do better things with it, they've tried to up-res it. It's caused a few graphical glitches, or it'll cause a few like just gameplay glitches. Like apparently in the Uncharted HD collection,
right?
I think it's either Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 3. If you pick up a gun, instead of holding the gun with the barrel pointing towards the enemy, you hold the gun with the barrel pointing to the left. It's just a stupid little graphical glitch that would take me right out of the game, because all your bullets would still be firing like towards you or towards the enemy, but the gun would be pointed that way. Like stupid things like that would just take me right out of the game.
But it was a decent year for gaming.
Yeah, fairly decent year for gaming.
Yeah. TV on the other hand?
Yeah, TV again. It was a kind of another up and down year, because I watched The Flash, which wrapped up this year. Season 1 wrapped up this year. Season 2 kicked off early last year. Watched all of it. It was absolutely outstanding. Like best American TV show that I watched this year. Best British TV show that I watched this year was a TV show called Humans, which was on Channel 4. And the best way that I can describe that is it was iRobot, but if Sunny was 5 robots. And the whole point of the show is that everyone on the planet is getting used to synthetic robots helping them with their day-to-day life. Essentially robot butlers. But basically the creator of the synthetics, or synths as they're called in the show, discovered a way to make synthetics conscious, give them consciousness. And in those 5 synthetics that he's given consciousness, they have a way to spread consciousness across all synthetics, basically making them human.
Right.
And it's all about them trying to, because they're all scattered about the place at the beginning, they're trying to find the other 2 synthetics so they can make this sort of chain of 5 and spread consciousness across all synthetics. But in doing so, there's the big evil corporations that are taking money from the sale of synthetics, and how obedient they can be and how useful they are as just household workers. They're taking all the money from that. They don't want them to get consciousness because they can sell them better if they don't have consciousness. They can make them do whatever the hell they want if they don't have consciousness. And it's all about their struggle to be recognised as human. It's all about the people who are maintaining the established order, trying to maintain that order. The ending was kind of a bit hit or miss, but I'm hoping they address that in season 2, which kicks off, I want to say maybe March or April time this year. But if you ever see Humans on DVD, I recommend you pick it up.
TV series, I'm going with Game of Thrones. A lot of people have a lot of problems with the way the show is going right now. As someone with no attachment to the books, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a very enjoyable show. I mean, some of it's horrifying.
Yeah, some of it's pretty bad.
Did not want to see Sansa get raped on a wedding night.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Saw it, didn't like it, still saw it. I just want to see what goes on next.
Yeah. So I think that's the only reason I'm still watching Game of Thrones, because to me it seemed they had like just George R. R. Martin style. George R. R. Martin. Sorry, fucking cannot speak. I apologise right now if I keep double taking words. It's because my wisdom teeth are growing in right now. My just the entire right side of my mouth is fucking sore.
It makes talking very hard.
It does. I apologise. The audio will be kind of up and down throughout the entire show. But the only reason I'm watching Game of Thrones is just sheer morbid curiosity. Because George R. R. Martin's writing style, like, it seems like he had a good idea in books, like the first couple of books, but then he started going, what if he dies? What if she dies? What if he dies but she comes back and she's evil? And it just seemed all over the place. It was like a scattergun originally, whereas the TV shows have kind of tried to make it more streamlined, but at the same time it seems like they're just picking off characters for the sake of it. Like you said, no one's safe, and I get that adds that extra kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of sense of danger to the show, because you're watching it going, oh, I like that character, but she might die, or like she's not safe wherever she is, she could still die as well. It kind of removes the need for investment in your character, because you think, well, he's going to fucking die, I'm not going to watch this, and that's where I kind of think it lacks a little bit. Because there's no character investment. You just think, well, if I like this guy, he's going to die in a couple of episodes. The only character you can really get invested in is Tyrion Lannister, because there's no way in fuck they're going to kill him.
I just enjoy the show because I have character investment in spite of knowing the fact that almost every character is going to die at some point. So yeah, TV show I don't have a worst.
I have a worst, and it fucking pains me to say this, but Doctor Who Season 9 was the worst TV show on air this year, or last year. It was just so poorly written, and it was so broken the way they done things, because they brought in the mistress, fucking worst. Actually, she kind of grew on me throughout the thing, but still the whole prospect of the master now being female doesn't really make sense to me. But fair enough, they're trying to introduce new characters, trying new things. I might not be able to get behind it, but other people that do, other people that like it a lot. They got rid of Clara, which again, it was going to happen because she was getting a little bit grating, she was getting a little bit, well, Doctor, you can't tell me what to do. I'm my own woman, like all that kind of thing. Which again is fine, but in the context of Doctor Who, the companion is meant to challenge the Doctor and be the kind of counterweight to most arguments. She just seemed like she was pointing the finger in the face of the Doctor for the sake of it, just like, you're wrong and I'm going to show you why you're wrong. It just seemed like she was counterproductive to the show at the end, and the way they wrote the Doctor this season, which is very, very bad. The Doctor's always very hands-on, he's always very invested in the well-being of everyone around him, but in this he was kind of, oh, you want to kill him? Yeah, go ahead, I don't give a fuck. Like, the whole point, or the whole like crux of the Doctor this season was, I don't give a fuck. And that to me wasn't really the Doctor. I kind of, again, like I've said, after every review I've given of every episode of Doctor Who Season 9, I hope they pick it up again. So in Season 10, I hope they just ramp it up, give us a new companion that better suits Peter Capaldi. They just write Peter Capaldi a lot better. In essence, I want them to get rid of whoever the fuck it is writing, Stephen Moffat. I want them to get rid of him writing, bring in Mark Gatiss, because he's a fantastic writer. He's some of the best episodes of Season 9 he wrote. Get him to do the next show, it'll be brilliant, I guarantee it. But I want them to get rid of Maisie Williams' character. She does not fit the entire story. Like, I haven't seen the ending episodes because I lost my Sky connection.
Right.
There's a whole other story behind that, which I think I've told you before. But lost my Sky connection, never caught up in the last episodes, but they've never really closed off her look. They never explained to her who she is, and quite frankly I don't care, because her character forgets who she was at each episode because she's lived for so long.
Right.
Her character becomes an immortal. She's a Viking girl who gets alien technology implanted in her, which essentially makes her immortal, because she's still a human.
She's not used to living that long.
Yeah,
she has
the
problems.
brain just keeps recycling. It's just like, right, what did I do in this timeline? Like, she can't remember absolutely everything, and in each fucking episode she always remembers the Doctor, but she can't remember who she is. She's like, who am I, Doctor? Like, you already fucking know, you asked the exact same question last episode. So it genuinely does pain me to say it, but Doctor Who Season 9 is my worst TV show of 2015.
I don't watch enough TV and bad television. Like, I pick and choose what I watch very carefully.
Oh yeah, I've started doing that now.
Yeah. I don't have time to watch 6 seasons of like whatever shit TV show keeps getting recommended by everyone at work. If I want to sit and watch South Park, I'm going to sit and watch South Park.
Yeah.
Had a good time with South Park actually. I really enjoyed the idea of them doing a running narrative.
Yeah.
Seems to pay off a little bit more, while each episode, they're obviously trying to force each episode into being its own thing, which is kind of the show's previous format.
Yeah.
Having the continuous running narrative going at the same time gives a bit of a bigger payoff at the end of the show.
That's the thing. See, with like TV shows like Arrow right now, like, cause I started watching Arrow. I watched The Flash, it was fantastic. I started watching Arrow. Arrow seems like it's not going to pay off until like the first season is all just, you're going to love the next season. I don't really think the stuff that they built in season 1 isn't really going to pay off till season 2. But the only thing that I can focus on in watching Arrow right now is they're trying so hard to make it Batman. Like how Arsenal is Roy Harper, basically Arrow's sidekick. How he discovers Arrow is basically how Robin, Tim Drake, discovers Batman. Through like watching him on TV, he realises, oh, he's pretty big, and he'd have all the money to fund Batman. I think Bruce Wayne might be Batman.
So I get to be a superhero's sidekick by just having common sense.
Yeah, just by looking at him. If you look at Superman and go, wait, if he takes his glasses off, he kind of looks like holy shit, Clark Kent is Superman. Does that mean I get to be Superboy? That's how they do it in the comics. It's a good way because it shows that Tim Drake is kind of on the level of, say, Dick Grayson, because he's got that detective instinct. He's got that kind of gut feel. He's willing to follow his gut. If he knows that something is right, he's willing to put himself out there. It's pretty good, but I'm used to seeing that coming from Batman and Robin, not from Green Arrow and Arsenal. They're trying too hard to kind of shoehorn all these Batman references in. I mean, they brought in a villain called Firefly in Arrow, who's a Batman villain, and they brought in Ra's al Ghul, who's the leader of the League of Shadows, in Batman, and they brought him in to Arrow basically so he can make Oliver Queen the next leader of the League of Shadows, like he would do with Batman in the later Batman comics. It just seems to me like, if they want to do a Batman show, why not do a Batman show? But then again, you understand why, because Warner Brothers just like, nope, we're doing nothing with Batman because we want to keep him for the movies, and they want to kind of keep everything separate, unlike Marvel. They're trying to mash everything together with like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter. They're trying to just fuse everything into one big Marvel like visual universe, which I think is fine, but it's ultimately going to mean that DC are going to lose out on a lot of like crossover continuity, because whoever they've got playing the Flash, I think his name is Grant Gustin in the Flash TV show, is going to be a much better Flash than this weird scrawny looking guy that they've got to play him in the movie. Like, they've got a good Flash and a good Green Arrow, and they've got a good Black Canary in the TV shows. Why not port them over to the big screen, because they would suit these characters better, they know these characters better. Then why get someone else to do that? It's going to take longer for them to get acclimated with the character. It does make a lot of sense to me.
I do like the fact that I can just say the word DC Comics on television and you can get sidetracked for like 5 minutes. That had nothing to do with the mandatory 2015 list.
Yeah, but it's just like
Moving on.
To, what's next? Best film this year, sir?
We just did film.
I know, but I have more to say about it.
Do you want to say you hate Taken 3?
Yes, I fuck Taken 3. It was such a bad film. The whole crux of the film is bagels. If the cop does not figure out that Liam Neeson went to go buy bagels the night of his ex-wife's disappearance, I fucking can't even remember. That's a bad film.
Didn't watch it.
Right, whoever disappears, if the cop does not figure out at that time that Liam Neeson went to buy bagels and they were still warm at the time that the cop arrives at his house to investigate, and he doesn't realise how good those bagels are, the entire movie's fucked. The whole movie is done in by bagels. Makes no fucking sense. Fuck that movie. You ruined Liam Neeson's career, which, to be fair, was kind of taking a tank anyway.
Not Aslan, no.
Oh, God.
No.
Jesus Lion.
Jesus Lion.
And it goes without saying that, like, Force Awakens was my favourite movie. And Jurassic World, just because of how stupidly fun it was. The big fight at the end with all the dinosaurs and the T-Rex and the Indominus Rex and the pterodactyls and the fucking raptors and the megalodon.
I just watched it, and I'm kind of annoyed that I let you spoil it for me, because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that just out of sheer surprise. I would have figured it out pretty quickly what was going on. But yeah, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, really good movie. Really stupid movie. Really stupid movie, but if you kind of
the concept of the entire franchise is that we managed to bring dinosaurs back. The entire franchise is stupid.
Yeah.
Jurassic World saying, fuck it, go whole hog and make them like super dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Is them just going, well, we had to level it up somehow.
Yeah. And that one Asian guy that's saying, "Oh right, we needed to make more like vicious dinosaurs to bring people in." How has that guy still got a job? I'd fire him fucking months ago. If
Well,
he's
that wasn't him. That was him doing it on the orders of the executive, the guy who owned the park. That's all his fault. Like, it's part of his story arc is he realizes that he fucked up, and that's why he goes in the chopper to fix the problem himself.
Yeah.
And then doesn't expect there to be an eruption of giant bats. I think, was it pterodons?
pterodactyls.
Yeah, pterodactyls that just fuck up everything. Those things, like, the dinosaurs in that movie, again, fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching them smash the shit out of everything.
Like the Ankylosaurus that corners the kids in the gyro ball, like the big armoured dinosaur with the club tail that bats them about.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Like, they do not fuck around.
Yeah, I was being more to do with the fact that like a dinosaur flies through the front screen of a helicopter and stabs someone in the chest.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Very metal. I approve.
Yeah, there's Jurassic World 2 coming out, and I'll be greatly interested in that. I hope they don't do the Lost World thing when it's come home. I hope they do like this is a containment team. They're coming in to level whatever was on this like island.
But the whole thing, I don't get. Well, the thing that interests me about the ending of that movie, because I think that might be my movie of the year, just because I'm not a big Star Wars fan, I just might put that there. I might put Mad Max there. But the implications of Jurassic World, kind of, they end it, and there's a lot of dinosaurs just kind of walking around.
Yeah.
Like, how does that ecosystem interact with normal ecosystems? Like, you can get there on a ferry in a day, so it's not a far distance to travel. Those pterodactyls and pterodons are going to get out and start fucking with them. Like, I want to see the sequel to that movie because the first one was fun, light-hearted, and a bit like kind of scary. It's a weird film. I like it because everyone earns their place. Like at the end of Superman, Man of Steel, that kiss totally unjustified, pissed me off. Everyone at the end of that movie ends up where they deserve.
Yeah.
The kids survive. They end up together because they bond over the whole event. Yeah. And everyone kind of gets their just desserts. Like, you're waiting for one person to get eaten in that movie the whole way through. You're like, here we go, here we go, here we fucking go. Eat that fucker now, and then it happens, and it's the best payoff of the entire movie.
Like for me, the best payoff of the movie is the final fight. Just because everything's good up till that point, then you get to the final fight, and you become like that 12-year-old going to the cinema after school, and you're just like, holy shit! Like the raptors riding the big one, and the big one's fighting the other one, and it's just, like you become a 3-year-old, like you become a kid again. You're just like, holy shit, that was
You're
cool.
a kid smashing toy dinosaurs.
Yeah, just the T-Rex is fighting this one, and the pterodactyl drops a nuclear bomb on.
Yeah, and it's nonsense, but it's the best nonsense.
It was ridiculously fun.
It's ridiculous nonsense, but I fucking love a lot of it. It's really well done. Again, I mean, film quality, top notch. Yeah. There's nothing about it that makes me think that's really bad CGI. I just like every frame of it. It's just like, oh wow, they shadowed everything. They gave it the texture. They did everything right. Ooh, nice. So speaking of quality, let's go for the ultimate quality evaluation of the year for metalheads such as yourselves. Album of the year.
Album of the year. For me, it's a two-parter. First, half of the award goes to Glory Hammer's Space 1992. Just a ridiculously fun album, really, really well made, well put together. The kind of subjects of each song is funny as hell. Second part of it goes to Slipknot's The Grey Chapter. Fantastic album, a lot of heart, a lot of love put into this. It's a fantastic send-off to one Jim Gray. Really, really well put. It kind of blindsided me a bit because I forgot that it was coming out. Then you gave me the CD and I was like, holy shit, this is a really good album.
Yeah, they really tried for this one.
Yeah, they really put like kind of the effort into it, and it paid off a lot. Two favourite albums of 2015. I
had the problem of realising that we were doing this list and I wanted to go and research what was my favourite album. The highlight soundtracks of 2015 this year, for me, have been albums from 2014. Albums I missed out on and went, oh shit, I need that in my life. I mean, for my lists, we're going to include Mastodon, Once More Around the Sun. Yeah. Fantastic album.
Quality album.
2014. Like
motherfucker.
Like February 2014, but not even close. And then the other one was going to be Behemoth's The Satanist, which again...
February 2014?
I think it was about March or something like that. Nonsense. Yeah. Like, shit, that was supposed to be this year.
Motherfucker.
I've ignored this album for a year and not heard it at all. So yeah, I missed out on those. So I ended up settling on, after going through the list of everything I bought that wasn't from 2014, was actually Nightwish, Endless Forms Most Beautiful. It's a strange pick, I know it's not very popular. I would prefer to, I want to put this in with like a little asterisk saying this is the normal version of the album, not the extended cut, which features the 25-minute wank fest at the end. Just two of us going, I can make sound noises, and I listen to that, and the one thing that pisses me off, there was like an explosion or a cannon fire shot. Sounds like something like a game from the 1990 that I used to play. Like, the same fucking noise. Like, he's like, it's artistic and it's expressive, and you're a wanker.
It's retro. No, you're a dick.
You're just wanking yourself off on your keyboard. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, that was my pick. It was a weird one that I did just go through. When we put Slipknot on the list, I was like, Slipknot was the album of the year.
Now I had to kind of sift through it because, like yourself, I looked through my iPod and thought, no, that's a 2014 album, 2013 album, fuck, 2015. I actually had to Google it. It was like, what albums came out in 2015? There's like Glory Hammer and Slipknot done. Two fantastic albums, two absolutely brilliant bands. That I mean, if Glory Hammer ever played, and if Glory Hammer ever play in Glasgow, I'd go and see them. And Slipknot goes without saying that I'd go and see them.
So in summation, 2014 was a great year for metal.
Yeah, definitely. The
2015, kind of okay.
2015 was good. Because I would put the Devil You Know record in there, but
it's not worthy. No.
No.
It's not earning a Gibberpish 2015 award.
Like I said, where they were trying to be like, fuck you, Killswitch Engage, I can strike out and do it on my own. I can keep delivering the same level of awesome that I had in Killswitch Engage. With this album, it's kind of shit. How do we play music again? Wait, we can do an Eye of the Tiger cover, which doesn't really get good until about a minute into the song.
You just kind of stuck listening to something you didn't intentionally want to listen to.
Yeah, like I did not want to hear Howard Jones singing Eye of the Tiger, but now that I have, I'm still not sure that I want to. I
already had it singing in my head and it was fine. Don't know why they fucked with it.
Yeah, again, wasn't the best album. It's definitely not the worst album I've heard.
What's your worst then?
My worst is again another two-parter. It goes with it saying Slayer's Repentless. Probably most metalheads' worst album of this year, because it was not, for me it wasn't a Slayer album. It was just Kerry King wanking himself off for like 40 minutes onto a record and then selling that. It was not a good record. It wasn't what we're used to from Slayer. It was just a grave disappointment. What was also a grave disappointment was Five Finger Death Punch's Got Your Six, with just how mediocre it was.
Yeah.
Like, and you're looking at me saying it.
No, we were talking about this before, that I saw this come up and I'm like, really, that's the worst? Like, I thought you maybe put this as being unnecessarily, like, it'd be too much to award it one way or the other.
Yeah, no, it was
because it's not going to be the best. It's not even my best pick of the year, and I'm a fanatical Death Punch fan. So
it was just such a letdown. It was because you've got, I'm going to probably say these out of order. You've got like War's the Answer, then you've got American Capitalist, then you've got
Way of the Fist, War's the Answer, American Capitalist, The Wrong Side of Heaven Part 1, Wrong Side of Heaven Part 2.
I can count them as two.
Got Your Six.
Got Your Six. We had so many good albums before it, and even their live stuff was really good. Then you've got this one, like, it just doesn't really fit. It doesn't feel enough like a Five Finger Death Punch album to me. It just feels out of place. It feels like they didn't really try enough, or they tried to keep it consistent, but at the same time they didn't really improve on what happened before. And that's why for me it kind of gets the worst, well, half of the worst spot for metal albums this year.
Yeah, I don't think many people are going to beat Slayer's Repentless for worst of the year.
It was so bad, like really, really bad. And I'm not that big a Slayer fan, but I appreciate like a legacy when it's put in front of me. And Slayer do have a big legacy of like being one of the best thrash metal bands like in the world, and they've just kind of ruined that legacy. Fair enough, they were coming off of a very, very sad point in the band with, apologies, who was it that passed away?
Jeff Henneman.
Jeff Henneman passed away, and he was a big kind of creative force behind the band. Him and Kerry King wrote most of the songs together, and you can definitely feel that in the album itself, that it's mostly Kerry King writing these songs and playing over the top of them, without Henneman's influence to go, nah, that's a wee bit too much, let's do this instead, this will be better, and Kerry King going, alright, that is better, that's why you're here. Without that influence of Jeff Henneman, the record just kind of feels a bit lax.
It feels like it's one man's pet project as opposed to a band's creative idea.
I mean, the worst part of it was violence. Was it Violence is the Drug? Let's get high. Yeah. That was just took me right out. I was like, nope, it's fucking macho lyrics. I mean, that would be more like better suited in that fucking Ice Cube metal album.
Oh, the one they did with Korn, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been better in there.
That'd be fair. Like it wouldn't play out anywhere like that. You know, in an Ice Cube album, which weirdly enough was, as an album I found this year, Laugh Now Cry Later was pretty damn good for like the album I found this year.
Was it Ice-T that done a metal album?
Oh, Ice-T has got his own metal band.
Yeah, was it not like Laughed? I want to say it had something to do with Slaughter in it.
Oh, Manslaughter. Yeah, Manslaughter. I think they're kind of funny. But
again, if it's like tongue in cheek, oh look, I'm a rap artist but I do a metal band, but fair enough, but it's like that lyric would have been better suited in like that song, like any of his songs,
than a Slayer song.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it was a bad album. Yeah. I didn't really mispick a lot this year. I was playing catch up on 2014 apparently. I
think we
didn't
both
know
were.
about it. Yeah.
I don't like 2014 wasn't even that good a year. I don't know why I was playing catch up to it.
Just because we diversified our taste through.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I've listened to Sons of Metal podcast, I've diversified my taste a lot more. I've been more cavult than I used to be.
More cavult.
More cavult, yeah.
Cavult fried chicken.
Cavult fried chicken.
Just because I'm getting fried chicken when I go home from my dinner.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry too.
There's just a smell of like food coming, like emanating.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, the last category you had was podcast.
Yeah, and it goes with it. Like, the reason behind it was we'd do a podcast that kind of gives us like a way into other podcasts we can kind of rate and review on the back of that.
No, we can't.
we can't really because we're still very, very, very new at this, even after about 23 episodes. But yeah, my favourite podcast of all time will always be Tell 'Em Steve Dave, which has got a lot of characters from a lot of people that were in Kevin Smith's work. They do their own podcast. It's really funny. It's got one guy from a TV show called Impractical Jokers, a guy named Brian Quinn, and two guys from a TV show called Comic Book Men. Three of them get together and they just rip the living shit out of everything that gets presented in front of them. Three hysterical guys. I mean, I highly recommend the podcast for anyone. They influence me in how I'd like the podcast. Obviously, we don't do it as they would because they're very, very seasoned at podcasting. They've been doing it for about 7 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they've got like 269 episodes or something like that. 270 odd episodes. It's a lot of work. But yeah, they're very, very seasoned podcasters. If I could do a podcast like them, it'd be pretty good. I think it'd be pretty good. But yeah, they're always been my kind of inspiration for podcasting. Would you really have a horse in this race? Would you say you have a favourite podcast?
Well, part of it will feed into my next question, which is one I'm going to kind of drop kick you with. But I suppose the podcast I've got the most out of, which is what I'd qualify, because a podcast takes time to enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like an hour long thing. I mean, this is going to go for like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, an hour and change.
Yeah, it's an investment in time. I kind of, just because of the way they look at the gaming industry, I want to say Funhouse's Dude Soup podcast is really good for me, just because they look at it as a kind of like long form response to what's going on in the gaming industry, and what they've shown and what they've talked about throughout the year has been really interesting, just because of what how they look at the journalism they do, even though they don't want to be referred to as games journalists.
Yeah.
They're just
Well,
kind
they
of,
pretty much are. It's like saying YouTubers don't want to be referred to as journalists, but they are journalists because they're bringing news to people.
Yeah.
That's how I refer as a journalist. If you're bringing news to someone, I suppose we could technically be journalists.
They use the term pundits, and I'm like, yes, it's not a journalism.
Yeah.
They're not investigating. That's journalism.
Yeah.
That they're reporting. That's kind of punditry.
Yeah.
The reporting is kind of different, but the way they look at the games industry informs my opinion of it, and it's a really good way of them expressing it. Do you have like a worst one?
The worst podcast I've listened to like this year. I mean, I've tried like a few different podcasts. I tried listening to Pete Holmes' podcast. Well, it was funny. I couldn't listen to more than maybe like 4 or 5 episodes because most of it was like, I'm going to talk to you for a bit, but then you're going to sit and listen to me talking about my therapy and my divorce. And Pete Holmes is a very funny guy, but it gets very, very grating when you sit and listen to him talk for 3 hours. Like, he would just sit and record like a 3-hour conversation with these famous celebrities. I mean, the best one that I listened to was when he done an interview with Henry Rollins, and he just shut up and listened to Henry Rollins, and it was fascinating just to hear his view on the world and what it was like touring with Black Flag, what it was like being a musician, what it was like being like an addict and stuff. Just his like view on the world was outstanding to listen to, and his like work ethic and stuff. It was just really good listen. But then you listen to the episode that he done with Grace Helbig, and it was them talking about onesies and saying that you need to put vodka in the freezer so it becomes ultra cold. And I thought, well, you've given me a really gold episode with Henry Rollins where you're talking about genuine matters and you're being quite funny about it. Now you've just got you and Grace Helbig having a very, very girly discussion about onesies.
Yeah.
Kind of took me out of it. And then there was a podcast called Getting Doug with High with Doug Benson, and I'm a huge fan of Doug Benson. I listen to Doug Benson's Doug Loves Movies till the fucking cats come home. It's a very funny episode, very funny show when he gets his famous actor friends to come and talk about movies, play games about movies. Very good podcast. But his Getting Doug with High one is about 2 hours of him just getting high with his friends, and he gets so high in one episode he forgets that he's doing a podcast, and he's just sitting there like his eyes are spinning, he doesn't know where the fuck he is.
Oh.
That was bad. But the worst podcast I listened to this year was a podcast called the SourceFed podcast, and as you know, I'm a huge fan of SourceFed, huge fan of Phil DeFranco. I'll watch most of the things that he does, but Phil DeFranco is not gifted at doing podcasts. He has tried 4 or 5 different
formats,
setups of podcasting. He tried one like back in maybe 2010. It was called the Overflow, like PHLO podcast, and it was okay, but he only done it in 20-minute segments, and it got kind of disjointed because like episode 1 would come out on a Friday, but then episode 1.2 would come out on the following Monday or something like that. It got very disjointed, very hard to follow, so then that got scrapped. Then he tried to do the Overflow podcast again, but he tried to do it in a video format with people like Steve Zaragoza and Joe Beretta coming in, two very funny individuals. But again, it just didn't work because Phil tried to like force it in one direction and try and force all his little all his little show stuff in it, like all the stuff that he'd done in the show, like his catchphrases, his very, very, very forced catchphrases. He tried to force them into the show and it didn't work again, so he shelved it. A couple of years later, he tried to do his own format podcast, didn't work again, so he went, fuck it, I'm going to give it to my employees, you guys are going to do a podcast. And it works on a kind of level if you like listening to a bunch of people talk for an hour, say an hour and a half, depending on how long it goes for. But if you like somewhat of a structure on a podcast, which I know I don't like to script things, I don't like to write down exactly what we're going to say, but if you have a point to a podcast, it works better than you just going, right, here's a mic, me and Colin are going to sit and talk for 2 hours straight and see what happens. That's going to be very boring. It's going to be very grating on a lot of people because me and Colin try and be funny. We can be quite funny at times, but if you try and force funny for 2 hours straight, you're just going to be like, right, give it up. It's not going to be as interesting as if you have a structure to the show. Yeah, this episode right now is the most scripted one we've had, where we actually both use a Google document. We'll sit and fire notes at each other. Very swish. I like it. Like, I'm liking this, like, because I've just wrote down little buzzwords. I haven't scripted most of it. Like all the stuff that I'm saying isn't written down. Yeah, this is bullet points for us. Yeah, this is going to be bad when I become a lawyer because you have to write everything down. Like, I don't want to script things. Yeah, you're going to have to script. I'm going to have to script everything and shave. I spoke to an advocate that came into the school, came into college to talk to us, and she went, oh, we'd be very interested to have you. Your teachers have said good things. I was like, but you'd have to shave. I'm like, what? She went, oh, that wouldn't be a problem with it. Like, I've had this beard since I was 17. She went, well, you'll have to shave it. I'm like, is there any way I can get around it? Are you religious? No. Well, if you're a Sikh, not an interesting religion, we're screwed. if you're a Sikh, you can keep it. I'm like, shit. So I need to so if I want to become an advocate, like my chosen profession, if I want to go into the law, I need to shave. But anyway. That'll be 2016's drama. That'll be 2016's drama. Just me sitting there with a razor. Like, that'll be our first YouTube video. Just me sitting there with a razor. No. Yeah. Like Colin plays like Star Wars music, where it's like, this is happening. Like just like opera music, just like do. Don't shave. So yeah, the podcasting. I don't have a worst, but I do want to give an honourable mention to the Talk Without Rhythm podcast, which is El Goro, who has been working at this for years. He has now just hit 300 episodes. Nice. Episode 300 is a kind of commentary on the Lord of the Rings Return of the King extended edition. The DVDs are sitting right there. I'm going to do it before I go back to work. Hopefully I get to send him some feedback for episode 301, which he starts in the new year. It's about 6 or something like that he records, so I'm going to get it done before then. But yeah, I don't have a worst. No, the source fed, it's just one that I wanted to like, but then it turned out to be absolute shit. Yeah. Well, I do have a worst, but I don't want to just shit on another local group of podcasters. Yeah. I need to listen to that podcast. Like, because what you've said is it's what our show could be if we just like ummed and edited over everything and just left dead air everywhere. The magic of editing saves us. Yeah. So that I can get started on the editing, I think we'll just call this a close. 2015, how did you overall? Oh wait, actually my last question. What was the best find of 2015 for you? Best find of 2015? What was the thing you didn't have in 2014, you found in 2015 that makes you better? Makes me better? Well, I actually found, like, in 2015, just through classes in college, I actually found that I'm a daft hand at improv. Yeah. Seriously. Yes, because we do this class called Mooting, like I've mentioned before. It's all about like public speaking, etc., etc. But one of the things we had to do was we had to give a subverted fairy tale. Right. Like, we had to, and I got given Hansel and Gretel, and I was like, how the fuck did I do this? And I was trying to write it, and it wasn't working. So I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to wing it. I done a 2.5 minute stand-up piece on Hansel and Gretel, and like the entire class was busting their guts. So I thought, right, I'm actually fairly decent at improv. So yeah, I would say like being able to improv things has kind of helped me a lot. Yeah, this year. Be careful what you say between the difference between improvising on the fly and improv. Because improv comedy is not funny. I kind of find improv comedy funny, but it's hard to do right. A lot of people don't do it right. I was supposed to think about this, but didn't for some reason. Best thing, kind of the thing this year, I'm honestly going to go full cheese and say it's the podcast. Yeah. The stress relief, plus getting to actually have a reason to sit and read like 30 blogs or whatever in the course of a week is
a pretty good excuse to do things that I would be doing normally, but just having the chance to talk to someone about it and then have to broadcast it and have the conversation on the internet.
I just remembered I dug out a Japan versus Florida story, but we'll save that for next episode.
Yeah,
Because it's a fucking doozy.
Alright, okay. Might even feature Japan. We never know.
No, it's China.
Oh shit.
I'm subbing in China for the bench of Asian nations again.
So until then, I've been Colin Graham,
I've been Tom Anderson.
and we've been talking Gibberpish about 2015.
Yep. Happy New Year, I guess. You bunch of bastards.
You bastard!
You bastards.